Hi, welcome to the Metro Denver's 2020 Point in Time online survey training. If you've been watching the whole training online, this is part 2 of the training. If you've never participated in the survey before, you still have time to attend a survey training in person. If you're a seasoned staff or volunteer and you've done the survey before with people, then watching this video should help you walk through how to use the new survey tool. Please follow me along and practice on your phone or computer. Make sure you're practicing on the device that you'll use while you're surveying on Monday night or on Tuesday. That way you get used to it. Let's start with how you get to the survey. So the survey button, which will take you right to the survey, is on our website, everyonecounts.mdhi.org. It's not easy to get to through Google, so if you're having a hard time, just go to our website, mdhi.org. It'll pull up. In the corner, you'll see a PIT button. That's point in time. Press it, and it'll take you right to the Everyone Counts website, which is our point in time specific website. So I'll click the survey button and get started. While you're practicing, make sure to practice with all types of scenarios. The survey starts with entering your volunteer info, and these are some data quality control measures to make sure that we are able to properly attribute and check all the surveys. So, agency site. So we've loaded all of the survey locations into this. You should definitely find your location here. If for some reason you don't, there is another button. If you're doing outreach, you can type in outreach. Each county has Boulder outreach, Denver outreach. Then we'll select our county. And if you're testing the survey, type in test here. If you're at an agency when you're completing the survey and they have multiple sites, they'll tell you what to put in this program. If you're doing outreach and they've broken areas out into zones, they might tell you to type in zone 1 or something like that. Make sure when you're using the survey that you're always going to this survey button. On Monday, we are updating the link, so make sure to just favorite this page and not the link page. So once we're here, you've entered your agency, county, and program, and type in your first initial and your last name. That's me, Diane Howald. Hi. I'm the Regional Point in Time Coordinator and happy to be walking through this survey with you. As you complete future surveys, all of this top information will save as you reload it, so you only have to enter it once. If you change locations, enter in the new information, and then in the future, it'll save that information. So start with getting people's consent to be surveyed. Let them know what you're doing. Hi, my name's Diane. I'm doing a survey called The Point in Time. Can I ask you a few questions? I have some incentive items if you're interested. So ideally, you'll get their consent. They'll say yes. If they say no, a refusal and observation section will come up. So if they refuse, mark it right here. If you are in shelter or doing outreach, complete the refusal and observation section. If you're at any other location, you don't need to spend the time because the data won't be as useful to us. So to continue through the survey, I'm going to say they said yes. Did another volunteer already do the survey with you? That helps with deduplication. If it's Monday night, no one else has surveyed them, you could say no. If it's Tuesday, go ahead and ask. So up front, this year we've moved to asking the first 3 letters of their first name and the first 3 letters of their last name up here and their date of birth. And then we ask, is your date of birth on or after 1/31/1995? This is the only other required question besides the volunteer info above. You'll see it has the red dot. We ask this because we created 2 branches for the survey. You are either completing the adult version of the survey or you're doing the youth version. The youth version also goes through the youth supplemental survey questions. We'll look at those in a bit. So, since it says here that I was born in 1987, which is absolutely true, or not, I'm going to click no and continue with the survey. Where did you spend the night? Monday night, January 27th. So if it's Monday night, you ask, where are you spending the night tonight? Or if you're in their location, Ask them where they're staying. If you're in a shelter with them, you know that they are staying in shelter, so you can mark the shelter. Now, this year we've also created 2 separate surveys, a sheltered survey and an unsheltered survey. Majority of our shelter surveys are happening through a database, so we don't want to ask people unnecessary questions. So if you are not in the shelter or transitional housing program with them, you will not complete that survey with them. See, it would pop up and survey, thank them for their time. If they want to know, you can let people know, hey, we don't have any more questions because we've already got that information from the database at your shelter. Or you would say yes, and the sheltered survey would appear. It's pretty straightforward. I'll go through the unsheltered one so you can see that. So let's pick an unsheltered location. Oh, and if you pick hotel or motel, the sheltered survey will appear because we want to make sure we don't miss any. So if they say hotel or motel, you ask who's paying for the room, what city and county they spent the night, and then you continue with the survey. So if you add a unsheltered location, there's a number of options. There's the street, sidewalk, in a car, or an RV. We split those up this year. And another of other options. If you click other, it'll allow you to enter in that information. So let's say they were in an abandoned building. A map will appear. If you can drop a pin drop of the location where they are, if you are in their location, or if you have time to go through it, please do. This gives us so much more information that we're able to use. You can drop this bullseye to find my location. Since I'm at the Mile High United Way building, it will drop it right here next to Sonny Lawson Park. If you need to look for an address, or if you're at a place where you're able to, you don't have too many people waiting in line, or there's too many people to talk to, you can walk through and ask people, oh, did you stay near this intersection, near this park? And then you can drop a new pin there. If you're on your cell phone, it'll have an OK button right here, and you will press that, and it will allow you to save that and continue on. If for some reason you're not able to drop the pin, you also have options to type them in. You can type in cross streets, then just enter the information here. Sonny Lawson Park, Denver. Also, that's Denver County. Then we ask last permanent residence. You can type in zip code, or you can type in city and state. This is a new question that we've added to the survey this year. It only appears on the unsheltered survey. If you're not using any type of shelter services, why not? And so we would like to get accurate information from 1,000 people that we're surveying that night, give or take, and that day, to find out exactly what about the shelters aren't working for them. Have they been banned? Is the location not work for them? Pets, hours, don't feel safe? There's a number of options. First, ask people, then press what they put down. If they would like some examples, either show them the options or read them all, so that way we're not just offering them a few choices. If they say something you don't feel fits one of those categories, type it under other. You can type as many that you feel apply. Then we move on to length of time homeless questions. So is this the first time you've been homeless? Are you newly homeless? So how long have you currently been homeless? So this is an area where it helps to have practiced. So one night, under a week, under a month, but more than a week, under 3 months, but more than a month, 90 days or more, but less than a year, or 1 year or longer. If we say 3 days, then it will continue to ask you the other question that help us determine chronic homelessness. These questions are a little awkward because the definition is pretty specific. So, how many separate times have you been homeless in the last 3 years? We only need to know less than 4 times or more than 4 times. And sometimes you need to walk people through these questions. If they said that this is the first time they've been homeless and they've only been homeless 3 days, then you know it's less than 4 times and you don't need to ask that question. You also know it's less than a year because they just told you It's their first time in 3 days. So if you're able to follow through the conversation in that way, it makes it easier. We were able to include some skip logic here. So how long have you currently been homeless? If it's more than a year, it'll ask you approximate date that homelessness started. So that's how long have you been homeless. So you can enter in an exact day, you can enter in the year, whatever seems easiest. Then if we know it's been a year or longer, you don't need to ask the other questions, and so it skips those. This is another reason it's best to use the online survey because you don't have to remember things. The survey just walks you through the options. So who stayed with you on the night of Monday, January 27th? Or who's staying with you tonight? Or who stayed with you last night? It could be just me. It could be a partner or spouse and children and my brother and my pet snake or mouse or my service animal. But pet or service animal can be any type of pet they might have with them. So head of household is the person you're speaking to. It's the person answering all the questions. So we enter gender, we enter orientation. So this is sexual orientation. And we put LGBTQ instead of LGBTQ because T is up here under gender. Ethnicity, and then race. You can pick as many as apply or multiracial. And then if you're a U.S. military veteran, you would click yes here. And that creates our veteran supplemental survey. If you click no, that survey goes away. So let's click yes so we can complete the survey. When we get down to the end. So demographic questions. So on a phone, some of these words might not fully show. It might show you just a half of the word use. But as you practice, or if you turn your phone landscape and turn it back, you'll see the full word. So sometimes it's challenging to ask these questions. Be aware of your feelings and if you have any thoughts around them, and just check your tone and ask all the questions just clearly and consistently, and people will answer them. So do you have a physical disability? Do you have a developmental disability? So we made these questions a little more clear and specific this year. For example, a developmental disability is something that was diagnosed when they were a child or a young adult under the age of 22. Chronic health condition would be something that is other than a disability but affects their health and is severe and long-lasting. So diabetes, severe asthma, heart or liver disease are some good examples of this. We have a volunteer guide also alongside where you found this training video that has some tips and reminders and also has some hint language on the back. So I'm going to say I have absolutely everything. We also added traumatic brain injury this year. So if they are the only person in the household, you would finish the survey going here. If they had multiple people, you would say add a second family member. Yes. You go through, click on their relationship to head of household. If they're a child, continue asking the question. We are asking the demographic questions of everyone in the household. We find that there'll be value to knowing if children in the family also have disabilities because we know that that presents challenges to families. So you would fill in all that information. And then, since the head of household was a veteran, this veteran supplemental survey comes up. This is an opportunity to connect veterans who are staying unsheltered, who are not, or sheltered, if they're not connected to veteran services and haven't talked to anybody, and they would like to, ask them, would you like an outreach worker to meet with you to talk about housing options and other needs? That sounds great. So then we ask for all their info so we can come find them. Fill in as much as they're able or want to give you. The VA is put together a team to outreach folks as soon as possible. Last year, we had some success with this survey and housed over a dozen veterans that we otherwise didn't know were eligible for those services. So we ask about their full name, phone number, email address is very helpful. Any other info you want to put in here, like where's best to find them, best days and time. And then you say, thank you. That's the end of the survey for today. Take care. It was really good talking to you. Or whatever kind of words you want to impart on your way out. And then you hit submit and you are ready for your next survey. It takes a second to submit and then it'll show you it was submitted successfully. And when you're ready for your next survey, press here. And so when it comes up, I will walk through really quickly to show you the youth supplemental survey. You'll see that all of my volunteer info is still in there. Sure, you can ask me some questions. No, nobody already did this survey with me. And so we will put in this information, and we'll say I was born in 1999. Yes, my date of birth is after 1995. So then we will see that it asks me still, where did you spend the night? Monday, January 27th. If they are a youth, we are completing the youth supplemental survey only for youth that are couch surfing or staying with friends and family. This is a survey that is being done statewide along with the other COCs during the point in time. We are doing this alongside Division of Housing, Office of Homeless Youth Services. If you go to the website, you can read the reports from the last few years. So if it is a youth, you can click wherever they are staying, whatever they answer. Again, you have the map, you have the point in time survey information, and then below it, we have the youth supplemental survey. So this is additional questions after the point in time because that is the most important survey we need to complete first, since it goes to housing and urban development and provides us a number of funding. But we also want to know more information about youth so we can provide better services. So the questions are a bit more specific. They also asked about when they first experienced homelessness, more in-depth questions about gender identity and sexual orientation. It asks things that they feel they have access to regularly, experience in foster care and juvenile criminal justice system, if they have children, time in school, and a number of other questions. So you will just go through these with the youth. People can see the survey alongside you. We do have paper copies of everything that you are able to have in case your phone runs out of battery, in case you do not have service. Please always try to complete the survey online. It is the quickest and best way to complete this. Now, that's the survey. If you have any questions at all, you can email me at pit@mdhi.org. That's PIT@mdhi.org. I'm happy to answer any and all questions. And thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We could not do this without you. Last year, we had over 600 volunteers, not including the hundreds of staff that support this effort to help get us an accurate count and comprehensive coverage for the annual point in time survey. Thank you so much.